As I was uploading my last video, I had a fly buzz in my head and I realized I needed to put some fly strips up. Went looking for them and I cannot seem to find them. Anyway, it got me thinking about the simple little things that are very inexpensive that maybe some of us hadn't thought of. We all think about our beans and our Band-Aids and our bullets, among other things, but some of the simple little things, particularly for everyday life, if we're going to be, staying in our homes, that we may need to think about picking up that are relatively inexpensive. Fly strips. Hygiene is not going to be what it is now. We'd like to think that we're going to be able to keep up a respectable level of hygiene, but we're not going to be doing dishes like we do now. Where, keep a sink full of hot water and just doing them as they go, or 2 or 3 times a day catching up on the dishes. We're liable to have them sitting. Trash may be an issue. There's lots of reasons that we would have flies. Fly strips, very inexpensive, non-toxic, good way to go. It's the way we go in our home, and they're very effective. So I'm thinking I need to add quite a few more of those to our storage. Started thinking about the scouring pads, the little metal scouring pads we all pick up at the dollar store or at the Dollar Tree. That in a grid down situation where water is of a premium, you can't use soap pads to be scraping off things because it requires a lot of water to rinse those. And you can use the little metal scouring pads to fill holes. They have a myriad of uses. Need to pick up some more of those. Like I said, very inexpensive, $1, for like 3. Muffin cups or cupcake papers. Again, about $1.25. You get 50 of them. We use them all the time in this house. First of all, it makes doing the muffin tins a lot easier to wash. But we use them to put the kids' snacks in. We use them, we stick our popsicle sticks through them so it gives the kids something to hold on to. We've used them I've used them when we were doing some craft or something. You spread one out and lay the paintbrushes or, anything, all sorts of different uses for them. And they're really, really cheap. Small tacks and brads and nails. Small, little bitty small boxes of them you can pick up for $1, $1.50 places, anywhere from 30 to 50 in there. But let's say you need to tack up a curtain, tack up a sheet in between rooms to hold heat, tack up a notice for someone. All sorts of little, again, uses for them, really cheap and wouldn't hurt to have a couple of extra on you. Boxes of envelopes, again, another thing, about $1. They're great for seed saving. They are, we were discussing, how we were going to communicate with our neighbors instead of being able to go to where they're at. If we have a communal meeting area, take a zip baggie, that one right there, and be able to slip your envelopes in them and pass messages back and forth to each other. In case you're not going to be able to, you can't meet at a particular time, you can still communicate with your neighbors. I just covered the zip bags because we all know the myriad of uses that those have. The other is mouse baits. The reason for the last video was because we had with the cold weather an influx of field mice came into our house. And I hadn't thrown any new mouse baits out, so consequently we were overrun and they ended up getting to the wiring in our furnace. And I've had to have that and having to have that repaired. Extra mouse baits in order to be able to keep the vermin down in your house, particularly for those of us who are not cat people. That's, just simple little things. Not very expensive. Things that we can all, on our short paydays and short weeks, and we're worried we're not going to be able to prep. And, we're past the bullets, or past the beans. We have a lot of that stuff already stored up. And we, not going to go buy one more little pound bag of beans. There's still some things we can do. And these are more of those. Just the oddball little things that are going to make things so much better in a grid down situation. Make things easier. Again, we prep for the everyday. Morty out.